social media, websites, and SEO, SEM in 2017. I want to talk about some of the tools you need for your business. Some of them you may need if you're starting a new business, or maybe you just have a business for a while and haven't gotten into this part of it yet where you're going, okay, maybe I need a website. I do know there are plenty of businesses that have been around for a while that still don't have a website here in 2017. So we're going to talk with websites first. And we're going to talk about WordPress. And there are several other platforms you can build on. Wix is super popular, and so is Squarespace. Now, one of the reasons I recommend WordPress is both Wix and Squarespace, while they're cool, they have neat templates, they advertise that you can get a website in no time at all. The downside is you are locked into their platform, their fees, their charges. There's no way to easily wrap up your content and export it and just put it somewhere else because it's their platform you're using. Versus WordPress is an open platform that if you don't like the person who's hosting your website, you can package up your WordPress and move it somewhere else. This is a huge advantage because when companies come and go over time or change their platform, which actually Wix has a couple times, those changes may adversely affect you. And once you're doubled down and have all of your content and website built on that platform, you're locked into whatever they subject you to, which is kind of aggravating. And not being an open platform means it's not portable and you can't just go, I'm taking my data elsewhere. It's also much more difficult to export out of those. Some of the other reasons to use WordPress is it currently has a 59.4% market share. Now, normally I don't use market share as a gauge by good because then you would think McDonald's hamburgers must make the best because they sell the most. What this is important with a development platform is with this many companies using it, you don't have problems finding developers. So if you don't like the person who helped you with your WordPress website, or you did it yourself and you need to find some expert help, no problem. There's a massive amount of WordPress people out there that help support it, and lots of companies do. So once again, another reason you build this on this platform. Another popular CMS is Joomla with only 6% market share to kind of give you scale for just how big WordPress is. Are there other reasons if you're doing a custom website, as in I have this new idea for a travel site, I have a new idea for something that hasn't been done before, you may have to do some custom coding, custom writing, that's different. This is basically for websites like most businesses would want. So as I call them, billboard websites or even some selling websites, WordPress is a great platform to start with. So WordPress has lots of plugins. Matter of fact, 44,622 as of when I did this here in January of 2017. So the plugin directory is huge. There's lots of extensible plugins, and these add a lot of features to this. Many of them are free, some of them are paid, but they're not too expensive. Lots of themes. You can go and buy themes for less than $100. And for less than $100, you can get a theme, and this theme helps change the look and feel of it. And you can browse through lots of these companies, and it makes it easy to get started with WordPress. We have our own customization because we rewrite them custom. But if you're starting out and you go, you know what, I want to just get started with some type of theme here or there, they have them, and you can get launched with these. You know, you can go, this looks like how I want my company page to look, and then you start filling in all the copy to match your company, but you at least start with a template for how you want things to look. Now, the back end of WordPress is actually pretty clever. It's very easy, and you're seeing editing tools here that look much like any other word processing editor, you know, bold and quotes and things like that. So once your WordPress is done, and for example, when we build a website for a client, then we turn over control to them to do their own posts. Once you have the framework all set up, editing and adding and changing some of the text in your website is actually very easy. Another reason I like the WordPress platform. It also helps with your SEO. Now, Yoast SEO is a plugin that I really like. It's a free plugin, but they have a paid for some extra features. But one of the things you get to control with this is your snippet previews. And what these are is when Google's indexing your website, you want to be able to control how Google sees you. So those little results when someone's searching for something. So this lets you control those results. Matter of fact, it also gives you control for when people share your things on social media, such as Facebook. You get to control the snippet there too, and which thumbnail. Because a lot of times you've seen when you share a website, it shares the wrong thumbnail, and you're like, that's not representative of the article. Facebook will pull it randomly if you don't tell it specifically. And this is where one of the tools is great. This is where WordPress integrates with your social media presence where you go, okay, I created some content. I need them to land on my webpage to understand my services better. And this then allows them to customize that look and feel. So you're sharing this and it's really inclusive. It's the complete cycle. So I shared it on Facebook. They landed on my website. Now I convert them into a customer. I control what narrative they see when this gets shared and what snippets are seen when people are searching for me and how they land on my page. And this is an example of it. When you share my website, lawrencesystems.com, it pulls this graphic. This is the default graphic I have chosen. And if you share a specific blog post that I made a custom thumbnail for, this was the title of the blog post, and I put a little meme in there. So whenever they share this specific link, the longer link here, and this blog post has a custom thumbnail as opposed to the default thumbnail. So this is really handy when you're sharing things on social media or promoting a post, that they have different graphics to drive them where you want your customers to land. And this is kind of an example of some of the snippet support and the way WordPress supports some of the indexing on here. So when you type in my company, it has our landing pages all organized under here, meet our core team. I controlled each snippet, and this is really easy to do. So for each page you create in WordPress, I'm using, this is that Yoast SEO plugin again, the free version, as a matter of fact. I'm using the paid version, and it's allowing me to put those first couple lines that you see and control it versus having Google go, I think the first sentence is what I wanted. But instead of that, you can actually put these little summaries in. And like I said, this is what's important. So before you run out and have a social media campaign for your product, company, or idea, you kind of need a place to land them for that. So that's one reason I start out with a WordPress talk. Now, the next place, if you're a brick and mortar especially, this is so important, is business.google.com. Now, this is free. This is the Google My Business services, and this allows people to physically find your building, your address. And a lot of companies just aren't claiming this. My little verified sticker you see at the top here, this is saying that it's verified, that I went and claimed the site. Now, this allows me to read the reviews, reply to the reviews if someone has an issue, make sure that all of my information in here is accurate, and view insights to how people are finding me and who's looking me up. This is a great thing. So that little thing you see when people are looking up on the phone when they type in, a business, these insights give you that detail so you understand how people are finding you. And this is just a free service from Google. But you do have to have a website as part of the verification for this. So if you didn't have a website, Google goes, well, let's claim your page and put a website in there. So these are all steps that need to be taken. Here's some of the insights for like the total searches for the last 30 days. So 1,400 searches, direct versus discovery. And what that means is when people are searching, in my case specifically, computer repair near me versus the direct are people who know my company name, but they only know the company name, may not know the address, but want Google to give them directions. They want Google to give them the phone number so they can press call. This is giving me those statistics. And this is, like I said, free service from Google, business.google.com. Where customers view your business. Listing on search, listing on maps. So search is still more popular than maps. Only for the last 30 days, 444 people looked at it on maps. Most people are just looking up my listing search. So still pretty neat. Customer actions, visits to my website, requests for directions, or called me. So 42 people, said they asked Google to navigate them right to my store. So the other ones, they wanted Google to call. So it pulled up the phone number and they took the action. These are generally off the phone here, which is definitely pretty cool. And other people just wanted the website so they could get the information themselves directly. But this is why it's important. Not everybody goes to your website. Matter of fact, of 31 people on the website, 29 chose to call right from the Google listing. If that Google listing was incorrect, and if you don't claim it, Google may not have the accurate information about your business. They're calling the wrong person. Now, it also lets you view and reply to all the reviews. This is something I find very important. Whether the reviews are positive or negative, I ask people that you should probably think about replying and addressing it, either to thank them for reviewing or to hopefully figure out what they had a problem with and resolve it for them. And then you do it in a very public way here because your responses from the owner are displayed in your review history here. And it's worked out sometimes where I've seen people who reviewed the wrong company, and that's been interesting. It's not happened to me, but it's happened to a couple other people. It's also, I've had to remove fake reviews. You had a competitor, it turned out, thought it would be funny to put bad reviews on here, and he did it in his own name. So I was able to show Google that he was the owner of another business through a process they have and have it removed. Google also lets you set the business hours. Now, this is very important to search because a lot of people just go up to their phone and search something like, is this place? And Google will let them know they're closed on Sundays or not. Google only knows that because I told them. If not, they guess. And if they're guessing, they may not have accurate information. So this is why it's also important to get this set up so you can have your link, your name, your website, your proper business hours. You can also add special hours and holiday hours. So if you're closed on Christmas Day, you can add I'm closed on Christmas Day, and Google will remember that. And then when it will let people know when they're searching, it shows up right away in their Google. Now it's good to have it on your website too, but this is nice that you can have it here because some people, as you've seen, they just use Google. They're not actually going all the way to your website to get this information. Now let's talk about SEO. Hi, my name is SEO, and I need you to. Hi, I'm content marketing, and I'll do that for you. That I beat it over people's head all the time. Yes, years ago, backlinks and all those fun trickery that we did, I could just buy backlinks and have other websites linked to my website, and that will solve all my problems, and that'll put my ranking at the very top. Well, welcome to 2017 where that doesn't work anymore. That is how it used to work, and I'm still hearing marketers tell me, oh yeah, you just got to buy some links. Years ago, Google said that's game in the system, and we will remove your listing for doing so. So you are at risk when you game the system by trying to create backlinks and all those little trickery to boost your SEO score. That just doesn't work. Content. You got to have good content. That's what Google values. That's what Google shows up in their search results. I'm going to give a couple great examples of companies that are doing it. Hipmonk.com helps you find flights and hotels. Pretty cool site. I'm a big fan of their the way they do things is pretty clever, and the way they drive traffic. How do we know about them? They have a travel blog. Their travel blog is really nice. It has all kinds of destinations, places you can travel, and within those links, it suggests you use Hipmonk to help find those flights, hotels, and bookings. This is a really clever method. So you are talking about, and they don't have anything to do with these resorts other than they can get you to the resort. They can get you a package there. So they're creating content that's interesting read. They're having people put in entire blog posts on this about how to, what is a great vacation stop, top 100 vacation cities. So they have an entire blog and content related around this, and it's not just random BS and a few photos. They actually put some work into these, and by doing that, when you're searching for travel destinations, this comes up. Oh, by the way, you're already on the website. I can click this link, and I can book you a flight to there. This is content marketing. This is people talking about using your product in order to capture them. Now let's talk about DIY project ideas from Home Depot. Why would they have an entire website with videos and everything? Well, because once you're on Home Depot's website and you have the entire project, there's links to, is it in stock at my local store? You wanted to complete this project. Once again, excellent content marketing. We sell hammers. Well, how do you know you need a hammer? Well, it's because you want to do this project. You were searching some home improvement project or how to build this cool thing, and you go, I don't have a hammer. Oh, wait, look, they have suggested purchased items in the side of this blog post that says, here's the things I need. Here's a shopping list, and here's your local closest Home Depot with these things in stock so you can get your project rolling. Once again, content marketing. We do this too. We talked about Family Tree Now, for example, because it was in the news and it was very relevant. So we made an entire list of all the privacy websites where your data is. Now, what does that have to do with a company? Well, we care about people's privacy, and we want to show you links to this. Tech support scammers lying to you. Now, this is us talking about technology, how it affects you. It becomes a reason people come and read to us, and it also then shows us how to be an authority that when people have a question about technology, we are the ones putting blog posts and things on there. There's a video I posted here. I was on another show about video creation strategy because we do a lot of video that we integrate to our website. Difference between quality and cheap laptops. Matter of fact, I talked about laptops we don't even sell, and I talked about where to buy them outside of us because we are focused on the technology and on the repair side of things. So we talk about that. I talk about the Asus Chromebook Flip down here. We don't sell it. Matter of fact, I say here's links so you can go buy it. So it's that content we are to become a technology expert and have all of these different things. And this is what helps, drive traffic to our website. And they're like, oh, while I'm here, look, these guys happen to fix technology and can do things for my business. So this is all part of that content marketing strategy and why things like, oh, I'm just going to put a bunch of backlinks so I show up higher in the search results just doesn't work anymore. Google says that game's over. Now, there is, and this is the SEM, so search engine marketing as in paid marketing. So we put in plumber here, and right here at the top, we see the paid results versus the local results. Now, What drives the paid results is using the Google AdWords system. So let's talk about, so we got paid and local. And let's take a look right directly at AdWords Express. Now, there is a really in-depth AdWords system. It's fairly complex. We could take an entire hour just talking about all the amazing features of it. But let's talk about something that if you're launching a company and you don't have time to hire all this out, you're going, yeah, I just want to be able to do some of this myself. This is where AdWords Express comes in. They basically put a nice front end on their AdWords system and made a simpler system for people to navigate and go through. So let's start with, how do you create an ad? So you want call your business, visit your storefront, take action on your website. This is when you start creating a new ad. It asks you simple questions like this and kind of guides you through. No matter what you choose, they guide you only a little bit different for each one, so I'm not going to cover everyone in detail. Generally, they're the same. So you can target by region or country, you can target by distance from your business, and you can change this directly to the U.S. So if you're selling a widget that you want to sell globally in the U.S. or even around the world, you can change targeting distance. You know, this right here was me trying to narrow down getting people come to my store so we can fix computers. So we have a target by distance, and we said, okay, we want people within so many miles of my store, and so that's where I started this. And you can just drag this slider back and forth, or you can change the city. Now it does know, because when you register with Google AdWords Express, it already knows my address, but you can change the address and move things around. And if you have multiple stores, you can advertise multiple businesses in here pretty easily. Description of your product. Now, it by default knows I'm a computer store from when I set up the account, but you can, for example, it says plumber. You can change what's in there. Now, being a computer store is pretty diverse, so you check the boxes related to what you do. Multimedia product, gaming product, smartphones, whatever, and you can add another category. That way you start narrowing down the type of searches that you want to come up. And let's take example, a hair salon. If you're a hair salon, what are the services there? Do you do bridal events? Do you do extensions? You can add other things in here. And then you can then focus down your target audience, and your potential audience size over here on the right changes with that. So this allows you to narrow down the services, because maybe there's a service you don't offer, so you don't want the people searching for that to have your ad displayed. Simply go down to the ad creation, and I just put support with a smile, small business computer repair. And you have so many characters where you can put this in. So this lets you create the ad. This lets you go through here and gives you so many words. And this is showing you how it's going to actually show the ad. Next, we have an actual preview of what it's going to look like on Google Search, on Google Maps, and on Google Partner Sites. Google Partner Sites are companies that, well, let's take, for example, AOL, who buy ad space from Google. And it shows up on their website. Now, I don't really use this feature, but it is kind of a neat feature you can use, is they give you verified calls. And what this is they'll assign an 800 number to you, so you can directly track the ad analytics, as in what phone number did they call. So when they call, it tracks all the calls directly. Because right now, if someone calls me, I don't know if they called from an ad or from a Google search. This turns that on. I like just having everyone just call our main number, but it is another feature that's free with your Google AdWords Express account. Then you set your budget. Now this is kind of cool, because it'll give you over on the right here estimated ad reach based on the content. So they're saying you want to spend $16 a day, and they're going to tell you that's going to be $505 a month, and it's just a slider. And what the range here is your typical competitor budget range. What that means is your typical competitor is spending in this range here. So if you want to be more than your competitor, slide it on past here. Spend more than them or spend less than them, and this just gives you the ranging for that. And of course, the more you slide this over, the higher the estimated ad reach. And you can see how much it goes down. So if I want to spend only $4 a day, we look at an estimated ad reach of 61 to 100 clicks. Not much at all. Now, here is kind of a results for this. This is one that we had currently not running, but this is the December summary of it, where we got 29,000 views, 430 clicks, spent a few $100s on this ad, but it also is really telling to me, because look at the smartphones on this. 93% of people looked at my ad via smartphone. This is really where we're seeing a lot of the ads go. And because everyone looks on mobile, because if you need something, whatever you need, you grab your phone, you look up real quick. Okay, I got a flat tire, I need that fixed. I need my hair done. I need my computer fixed. And this is how people search for things, which is nice. And they're telling you what devices. So this also helps give you some of the analytics for this. Social media tips for small business. So let's go right into the social media. So now we've talked about build your platform, build your website on WordPress. Now we've talked about how to run some of those ads and claim your business on Google. So now you've got all your structure in place. Now you're ready to post things on social media. So population of the world is roughly 7.1 billion people, and there's nearly 2.1 billion people with social media accounts. Yes, that's the majority of the population, not just America. We're talking about the population of humans on this planet have a social media account. It just blows my mind to think that maybe not the majority of 2.1 billion, but a lot of people. This is just a lot of people on there. Now, 88.2% of U.S. companies will use social media networks for marketing purposes, and it's estimated to reach 89% by 2017. Most companies are using it now. If you're part of that other percentage, you're probably some specialized company. There are several of them. My wife works for one that does benefits for super rich people, and they don't seem to use social media. So there's probably a few exceptions of people who use it, but for the most part, pretty much every business uses social media in some form or way, from major brands to new startups. Now, some of these are a little bit older. I didn't have time to update all these here. This is actually 1.7 billion users now, and this is up to, I think, 800 million users for Twitter. But what's important here is the purpose for each one of these platforms. So we're going to talk about Facebook, which is about building relationships, building brand loyalty. Limited reach is kind of subjective. It does have certain demographics that are missed on this. We'll talk about that in another slide. News article and conversations, public relations, 140 characters less. Well, that's Twitter. Now, Twitter's kind of interesting because it's also the place where hashtags and lots of arguing with politics goes on, and hashtags get trending and kind of interesting things. But there is an audience there. And it's nice thing about Twitter is it has such a broad reach. So if you have something that fits that demographic of 18, 20-year-olds, and I've seen people who've even kind of hijacked in with some political posts and use it to sell different things to people, it's kind of fun. You can use some of the targeted advertising like that. Pinterest is a really interesting niche. You have ages of 18 to 35, about 70 million plus users. Scrapbooking. There's a lot of ways you can use this for lead generation in clothing, art, and a food business. And I've seen a lot of wedding photographers rely heavily on Pinterest because they know there's a lot of wedding shoppers on there, hauls and ideas. So a lot of people can use it for great conversion for that market. So if you have something artistic or artsy to sell, Pinterest is really kind of a cool place for that. Now, YouTube is really interesting with over 1 billion users, all ages. One of the number one searches is, how do I do this? And this is one of the reasons we have a big YouTube channel is it's getting bigger, and is to raise brand awareness for our industry, and we create how-to videos because lots of people we have very popular how-to videos, for example, on firewalls, and that's led to a lot of sales for me for people paying me to configure their firewall. You know, it's amazing when you see over 100,000 views just on a firewall video for me talking about it. So for any one thing that someone may want to be searching how to, if you have an expertise in that, YouTube can be a great way to start driving traffic to your business, get you perceived as an expert on that topic, and then allow you to market and sell your product. Especially reviewing products is very popular, and then you can sell the products on there. Lots of people, and then you can also reach out to other YouTubers and brand influencers who want to showcase your product. Now, the downside of YouTube is it's resource intensive. Video production is becoming easier and easier, but it still takes some effort. Now, LinkedIn, they're interesting. I mean, 600 million users, average age 30 to 49. It's really a place for business professionals. The biggest thing I've seen on there is nothing really trends well on LinkedIn. It's really niche when it comes to marketing of any of the posts. They are getting better with they have a blogging system, so you can write articles that keep people on LinkedIn, but they're not getting the traction you may see on some of the other platforms. What LinkedIn is really good for is targeting business executives and understanding where they are in the workplace, so lots of headhunting and things like that. Instagram, 200 million users. Instagram is owned by Facebook and very much integrated into the platform. And he realized that with some of the other things out there, Facebook wanted to make sure because they had an older demographic, buying Instagram was a way to capture that younger demographic. Lead generation, retail, art, food, entertainment, beauty, and businesses really focuses on images because you have to have an image for a post on there. Food, restaurants do great with it. They actually have a lot of brand loyalty. A lot of people follow and interact with their favorite brands, and because of the things they post, and it's very engaging to have a lot of intense graphics on there. It's the GoPro is really big on there because they're sharing the little clips of different things people are doing with extreme sports and things like that. National Geographic actually has a huge following on there because, well, they're known for a lot of their photos and things. So that's a really good platform for if you have something that is very tangible, visible. Google Plus, it's on here. It's a weird news and articles anymore. It has a real heavy tech focus. Not widely used. That's the best way to describe it. I don't know what Google's going to do with that platform. They tried it. I think Google's plan was waiting for the other companies, see if they'd mess up like Facebook. They didn't, and so Google's just kind of floating around with the niche audience that they have on there. Now, Snapchat. 100 million active monthly users. 7 billion stories viewed per day. 400 million snaps sent per day. Snapchat's weird. You have this incredibly big audience on a strange platform of sharing things that kind of disappear after a few minutes. I don't know that it's the easiest one. It's got this amazing reach, and if you had something to market to 18 to 34-year-olds that you could have in an ad through Snapchat, it's probably a great platform for you. It doesn't seem to have the brand loyalty engagement. Maybe it's my misunderstanding of it, but it does have like just people who follow who like to do funny things on there. It really has the young audience captured strongly with it because of the daily use of it. It's really neat. It's really kind of novel. It's hard for me to sell it to you as a great marketing platform for your business unless you have a business that really has something that you need to put in front of there. Places like Taco Bell do an amazing job on Snapchat because people 18 to 34 love Taco Bell. So there are brands that do good on this. Disney does well because they realized that they're targeting the kids who go, Mom, Dad, take me to Disney. So Disney does really well with ads on there. But it's still, like I said, it's an unusual platform. It's kind of niche. The massive YouTube ecosystem. Now, YouTube as a platform is just amazing to me. So it's the second largest search engine behind Google, and it's also owned by Google because people use this as a search engine. 60 years, more content is uploaded in 60 days than 3 major U.S. networks have generated in the last 60 years. It's incredible. 100 hours of video are uploaded every minute. 100 hours. Basically, you could never keep up with all the content that's being uploaded to YouTube, the channels. It's just a crazy system, and it's also a very important one. And this is where we find a lot of value on this, and a lot of people have found they make a living off YouTube because YouTube doesn't ad split with you. So the ads that you endure to watch your favorite videos on YouTube are actually shared with the content creators in terms of the revenue split on that. Now, let's go to Facebook. They're the one I kind of focus on because they're amazing, and I'll get to this when I show you their ad system. So here's a daily active users. This is right from the Facebook release from their earnings in last quarter. So here is Q3 2016. You have, this is a billion because this is in millions, so 1.17 billion daily. That means each day 1.179 billion people are looking at their Facebook every day. That's an amazing number. And this trend, since 14 all the way to 16, this is where people are solidly. So we may say, okay, they have this large demographic of 41% of 1834 with Snapchat, but this is Facebook in the billions. And who has the money? Now, if you're trying to sell Taco Bell, yeah, great. Kids, great. That's no problem. It's because you want to sell tacos in quantity. If you have a more specific product, this is going to be the more mature audience to market it to. Mobile daily active users, just about the same number. There's 1 billion people a day looking on their phones at Facebook. So you have 1 billion potentials that can look at the product you're trying to sell, and their targeting is amazing and scary. And that's the part we're going to get to here in a few slides. So let's talk about Facebook Insights. So this is my Facebook Insights, and it gives you actions on page view, page likes, post engagement, video views. And this is all just in the last 30 days. So you can see video is just king right now. So my video views are 4,932. My reach is in people who've seen my post, 14,020 on this. Now, there's not a lot of actions on page because I'm really not pushing people anymore for likes. That was a big deal for a long time. Everyone had to like my page. Well, Facebook's become a pay-to-play system, so likes suddenly don't matter. If you start out a new page, you don't have to have a ton of likes on it. You can just go right into the targeted ad system and start targeting certain people. Now, if you do use likes, you can say, okay, people who like my page, I want to give them something special or a different ad. So there is a reason for them, but they're not the end all, because before, just because they liked your page, they would always see your content. Facebook has really become a pay-to-play system. So even though they like your page, posting on your page without spending money on that ad or that post pretty much means they're not likely to have seen it. Only a few % of them are going to see it before Facebook just buries it in newsfeed with all the other stuff coming by. But when you sponsor a post, you boost a post, you choose a targeted ad, that post suddenly shows up repetitively in there. And this is how Facebook makes their money. I mean, the bottom line is it costs money to have 1 billion people a day looking at your website. And this is how they monetize that, is charging people like us, businesses, to advertise on their platform. Now, you do want to go for organic. And sometimes if you have something that kind of goes viral or gets more popular, this one had really strong organic reach because the thumbnail I used and people liked the video I did. So a lot of people started sharing it. So I actually didn't have to spend much money. And you can see my organic reach was 2,700 people versus my paid reach was actually lower. So I only spent a few dollars boosting this, but right away other people started sharing it. And once people started, 56 likes, 9 comments, 5 people shared it. So you start seeing all these people started playing it, and that's what made them start sharing it, and I end up with all these extra organic views. With spending, I think I spent like $20 on that ad. So pretty small amount, got some engagement, and because it's a high-end job we did, it potentially leads to more clients. And this is showing the different post types of what people view. You can see video, once again, with 3,000 views versus I post a photo, I only got 911 views, and links 721 on the reach here. And shared video still had some, but you can see Facebook's really focusing on video. Videos become very popular on there. So when you don't just post, you post with a video, you get a lot more engagement, a lot more reach, a lot more people interested in it. Now, this is where it gets a little bit creepy. This is where Facebook tells you the age groups and people who came by and seen your ad. So this tells you using geofencing, which basically they're looking at people's phones and they're telling you who's coming by, what hours of the day, based on their geo on their phone. Now, it doesn't mean they're on their phone while they're driving, although they may be. This means that their phone is logged into Facebook and sending GPS data, and they know where they're at, and they know what time they pass my store. You can set these up and get all kinds of information about who's around you, and you can actually target people based on their physical presence to you. And this is really an interesting, but also this is what all that data that Facebook is gathering out of your phone is doing, is creating this information for marketing people so they can go, hey, you know, if you're a restaurant especially, and you can actually have ads start showing up because people are physically close to your restaurant. It breaks down. So 4% of people were of the ads I ran, 4% of those people were within 165 feet of my business. That's the level of accuracy this gives you. So what it's doing is it's looking at the ads I'm running and saying when you ran those ads, they were actually seen by people, by 4% of the people who were within 165 feet. That's interesting. That's a level of detail we've never seen before in advertising. And this is one of the reasons Facebook's platform is so popular and, well, why the company's so valuable is your data. This is what they're doing with it. Good or bad, it is good to be aware of it. If you're into marketing or if you're trying to sell something, it's actually great knowledge to know. I mean, who doesn't want to know who's right by their business? It also breaks down times of day. So I can tell you physically when people are close to my store and, you know, here's your ramp ups. It peaks up right here. Then it peaks up again right here when people start coming by and see there. This is your hourly breakdown of nearby 165 feet. Like I said, really kind of valuable data, especially if you're trying to market some type of walk-in business. Demographics of the ages of people that are near my business. So the majority of people are on here are 30% of them are in the ages of 25 to 34, the 35 to 44s, and so on and so forth. Like I said, lots of detail. Now let's talk about the ad system directly. I like the way their new ad system works. It starts out with the question, what's your marketing objective, which is a great question. Are you just trying to get local awareness, reach, brand awareness, traffic to your website, engagement, app installs? So if you're an app developer and you have something you want installed, like a game, you can then advertise directly to get them to land into the store or market so they can get your phone apps installed. Conversions, product catalog sales, or store visits. Also, it can help generate lead generation. So let's run through here, and we're just going to grab one. Now, most of the backends can be the same, so I don't have to go through each one of these. There's nuances that are different, but we're going to talk about the targeting options that they have in here. So here's the lead generation. I had to agree to the terms, and it starts out with your audience as defined over here. So I started a location, Taylor plus 25 miles, much like I did with the ads that I had on Google. The ages, 18 to 65. Placement I want in the Facebook feed. Then we'll show you how you start narrowing this down. And it also lets you create an ad, or if you see at the top here, create multiple ad sets. That's an option you can do, so you can do some A/B testing, create 2 separate ads and see how they perform. They have the same goal, but you're not sure which one's going to catch people's attention. Now, this is something to stop and think before you start building this. Now, this conversation was with an attorney. Your assumed target audience is, I want to do criminal defense for college students. And they'd actually asked me about DUI. So I want people from 18 to 20-year-old, male or female, college kids that find themselves in trouble. They happen to be getting in trouble, so I want to target them. But the profile missed the mark for one major reason. College students didn't hire him for criminal defense work because they couldn't afford him. In reality, his target audience was the parents of the college students. So his best demographic profile is actually the parents, which was year 40 to 55, female because the wife or mother is the most likely to make the hiring decision in this case. Kid gets in trouble, who do you call? Statistically, you call mom, going, Mom, I did a dumb thing. I'm in trouble. Come bail me out. And they're going to have to call an attorney. And then a combination of the college city and several other key locations where the college attracted non-resident students, as shown by enrollment statistics. So one of the things before you start building your audience is, who is your audience that's actually giving you the money? That's the perspective. It doesn't necessarily, you may have a different demographic. And, with, let's say, Disney, you have Snapchat enticing the children to bug their parents, but then Disney also was going to buy an older ad. They're not going to target kids on the Facebook side. They're going to target the adults with special deals and packages to get them to buy. So first the kids said, you can see how the whole social media atmosphere or ecosphere is coming together here. You tell the kids and show them pictures on Snapchat of why they want to go to Disneyland. They bug the parents, who then start looking for Disney vacations, and then there's a Facebook ad that targets them to show them the best deal on a Disney vacation, and now the whole ecosystem is complete. So here's the choosing location. So I chose this area, and what's doing, you can target United States, outside the United States, lots of different options related to that. Men, women, 18 to 65, you can choose anything like that. You can choose specific languages. Now, I included some of the target demographics of people because we were targeting small business owners for lead generation for our business services. So people who title themselves as CEO, founder, owner, president, CEO. Now, these are great for small businesses. If we were targeting larger businesses, we would maybe target the person who's the decision maker for the thing we're trying to do. So you could title people you could target people, for example, if I'm trying to sell marketing trinkets, I could try targeting people who make that marketing decision, like the chief marketing officer of a company. But we're looking at small business, and generally the owner of the small business makes that decision of who uses it. So they're part of our present list. We also can add secretaries who are generally tasked with, go find a computer guy, and we want our ads to show up to them too. So those are some of the other people we added in here. Now, you can get super specific. If you have some deal like birthdays, you can type in birthdays and have it show up based on someone's birthday. You can say, anyone who's going to have a birthday on March 3rd, show this ad to them, or April 4th. You can pick any date you want. It's arbitrary, but this is actually kind of the fun things you can do on here. So you can actually target people who have a birthday and have a special at your restaurant and tell them to come in, and people are sometimes a little bit creeped out going, wait a minute, they know when my birthday is. Well, you put it in Facebook. So Facebook knows when your birthday is, and it's now a targeted option for detailed targeting. You can also do this for things like people who have life events, and I've seen a lot of wedding photographers do this, because if you get engaged, the next thing you do is plan for a wedding. So a lot of times they will choose a targeted life event of people that just got engaged. Halls use that because you're going to have to book a hall. So everyone in that wedding business is frequently using that as a detailed targeting option to go, show me people who just announced an engagement, And those are the people that probably need to see my ads because, well, why do I advertise wedding photography to people who are already married? You advertise it to people who are getting married. And this allows you that targeted information. Now, your audience definition over here on the right, you're going to see that move back and forth based on the different targeting. It'll tell you whether you have more or less people in there, and it kind of gives you some of your estimated reaches and potential people in that audience. You can also use this to figure out how many people in your area geographically have a birthday on February 3rd. Interesting thing. Now, the other thing you can do is narrow your audience. And for example, let's say I want to advertise something, but I want to exclude Detroit Lions fans. Well, I can do that. I can go into the excluded audience list. Now, this has become super controversial on Facebook because what the problem you run into is excluding audiences is illegal in certain markets, and it should be, because if you are a fair housing, fall under fair housing lending, excluding people on race, gender, or any of those demographics is illegal. So Facebook's gotten a little bit of trouble for this indirectly. What they're doing is they're subpoenaing the records of them, and it's something to think about. If you have a job that falls under certain acts like fair housing lending, you have to be careful what you use as exclusion, because you do not want to start excluding companies that would be then you breaking the law doing it. Budget and schedule. Now, this is where it's kind of interesting. You can set your daily budget. You can set however much you want to spend. You can say run continuously. You can say set a start and end date so you only spend so much. You can say, what do I want to optimize for on my delivery, post engagement ad, or a couple of options in there, whether it's just getting more people to share or like something. They give you a lot of details out there and let you kind of customize it. And what you're going to watch over here on the right, as you can see as I've built this, job title, founder, CEO, it tells me, okay, this is the audience, this is the location, this is, okay, fairly, it's kind of in the middle here. The daily reach is changing based on my daily budget, how many people are going to see this. Now, finally, when it's all done, we come down to how do you want to display it. Now, we just ran this ad as a single image, an image that we had, but this is what's really cool. Normally, you have to pay for stock imagery. Please don't just go copying off Google image search. I've known companies who have been sued over this because you used an image that wasn't yours. That's important not to use something that's not part of the public domain. And that's why you set up a stock image account that you have to pay for. But stock images cost money. Facebook reached a deal, I believe it's with Shutterstock, and they provide them all the free stock images you need. You go in here, you can grab all the stock images, you can search, find the one that you think meets there, and so you don't have to have the knowledge how to create stock images. You can simply go in here and choose from the library they have, or just upload your own. Now you can do single image, single video, slideshow, reboost one of your existing posts, or you can actually choose a bunch of images and put a rotation and do ad splits. And what the ad splits do is it's that A/B testing I talked about, where you can go, I don't know which image is right, so I'm going to run both of them, and you see which one of those ads gets more likes. And then you choose that one. You can then cancel the part of the ad that doesn't get the likes and optimize it for the other one. So pretty cool. Finally is the text. So we did this one. Does your company have a cybersecurity plan? Is it a good one? We thought this image was funny. It's part of the public domain, so I was able to use it. And it gives you an ad preview, and it's all ready to hit place order. Now what it's showing me here, desktop newsfeed on little pull downs. It'll show you how the ad looks on different platforms. So this is the mobile newsfeed, how it's going to show up on the Instagram feed. So it's kind of nice. They're giving you all the previews so you can understand how this ad's going to be cropped, how it's going to look, because if you notice the crop dimensions are different from the different feeds. And then we click place order. Your order's been replaced. You have in review, and if you wanted it back to that A/B testing that they really encourage, I can hit create similar ad right away, and that will let me start designing maybe another ad that's very similar to this one, so I can do the testing, and I can let the ads run concurrently and then kill off the one that's not very good. And once your ad's approved, it starts running. Now, this is where Facebook can go a whole step further for people who have mailing lists and things like that. So target Facebook ads to the people on your contact list and creating audiences. So if you have a mailing list, this will let you use that mailing list to create super targeted people. And it can also do things like this. So if you took a list of your best customers, you can say create an audience that starts with those customers and create one that looks just like them. So if you know who your best customers are, you can then use it to create a targeted list. So say, find more people that are just like the people that I uploaded. This is where Facebook is so detailed and gets almost creepy scary to its ability to be able to do this. So you can prepare a file with your customer data, email, phone number, mobile advertiser ID, zip code, postbook, Facebook app user ID. Now this is where people who install Facebook apps, you can actually download lists out of them. If you're an app developer, pull those people and figure out, okay, all the people who download my app, I want more people just like that. So then I use their app user ID to upload and create a list to buy more people, buy ads to target people. And then you can also use exclusionary lists. Go, don't advertise anyone who's already using my product because, well, I'm not interested in them. They're already using my product, so I need to show ads to people that it's relevant to. And then you can map the data, create the upload and creation, and it's amazing. And this leads me to something. I'm not going to get all political here, but I will talk about, and we put this article together back in November, and it's kind of an interesting read. So the White House was one with Facebook. Something that just puzzled me was, how is it when I was looking over the election stuff that they're just not spending the money that the other campaign was? And like, how did Trump get away with spending less but seem to have more ads? And this is where they use psychological profiles, dark posts, and micro-targeting to win the election. And what these are, dark posts are things that you can target people with, and you can use these analytics to create ads that don't even show up in that website. So let's say I have a Facebook page, and I don't want my ads to show up, but I want it to attract two different demographics, but the ads would offend either of the other demographic. But I still want them on my page. So I create an ad to target one group of people. The ad does not show up on a page, but it brings them to my page. And I create another ad that would have been offensive to the other group of people, and vice versa. And I create that ad as what they call these dark posts. These ads attract people based on knowledge they had of them. Now, where did they get all this knowledge? This is where Cambridge Analytica comes in, and this company is crazy. Now, they've collected 5,000 data points on 220 million Americans. And this is where the uploading of lists comes in. You remember those surveys that keep popping up on Facebook that you see that are personality type profiles? These is a company that was behind so many of them. And they use this to build these 5,000 data points and 220 million people who are using on, they have these profiles on. And they uploaded these data points to determine who should see which type of ad. So every ad was micro-targeted based on how you answered a personality profile that you agreed to share your Facebook data with. You answered it in a certain way, whether you are a happy person or a sad person, whether or not you have a more dystopian view of the world or a very optimistic view of the world. And then they created an ad targeted directly at you and how you answered a personality profile. That's how specific the Facebook ad gets. It's really, that's what our article's about. It's not about the politics of it. It's about how this system was used. And it's actually referred to as the Ocean Big Fives. Openness. Do they enjoy new experiences? Conscientiousness. These are psychological surveys. And this company is using the fact that the presidency, they were the company that the Trump administration had used. That's what they're using as an ad platform, going, we know people and we can help share that with you of if you have a target audience, and they're a service. They're not a political company. They're a service. And if you contact them, they can help target a specific demographic to market your thing, your product, or your candidacy very specifically. So companies like this, they're one of the biggest in the market, and it kind of came out of where no one knows who they are and everyone's talking about them now because of how they did all this, and the fact that how much information they have is almost creepy. So this is the future of marketing, and it's great to be aware of all of it. That's one of the reasons I want to bring it up. And this all goes back to Facebook. And it's when you talk about 1 billion people being on there, you talk about 1 billion people potentially advertised to. And this is the company that can filter those 1 billion people to find the person you want. Not just people or groups, but right down to the person you want to buy your products. And this is where it shows you how to create these dark posts. See, this post will be used as an ad only. This is part of the unpublished page post, and this is the dark post that were a lot of what they used to be able to do this. What I talked about with the split demographics, where the ad would be offensive to either demographic, but the goal is to still get them to your page and get them to buy your product or believe in what they believe in. So if you need to find anything else about me, you can find me at www.lawrencesystems.com. You can message me there. I'm Tom at lawrencesystems.com. If you want to email me, you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow our YouTube channel for all kinds of some combination of tech videos, or I'll be having this video post, or our blog where we post some other tech information. And thank you guys for doing this. If you like the content on here, like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Thanks.